Um, the smart money is to do what a couple of guys have done, and that's, use the exit of pit road where there's a portion of the road course layout here, and try to get some heat into the tires, because the way that this track is set up, there's only 2 laps for qualifying, so you really have to be on it. So if you can burn off some fuel and get some heat into the tires, but not burn all of the goodie off the tires, it'll help you. And the thing is, you're probably going to see a lot of these guys hanging out a little bit in qualifying. There's 10 minutes in qualifying. The average lap time, you're looking at about a 23, 24-second lap.
Yep, taking a look at our top qualifiers so far. Keith Mayato just laying down the time to beat at 22.932.
Right. So, that being said, right now the track temperature with the cloud cover being partly cloudy, track temperature is still 93 degrees. That's relatively warm for New Hampshire. Now, during practice, it was north of 100 at a couple of points because the sun was just blazing.
Yeah, watching guys lay down time, we've actually got some times up there on the field. Keith Mayato setting the mark to beat. Nate Siefker, number 2 car, 23.0. You can throw a blanket in the top 5 in 0.2 of a second.
Absolutely. And Mike Grandy making his return to the league, Rayvon making his return to the league, running a relatively new paint scheme on Rayvon's car. I got to say, I'm kind of proud of how that one came out.
Yeah, we were looking at that last week. We took a ride around on the high-speed drone, looking back at him around the track. I got to admit, whoever did that paint job, Tony, did a dang good job.
Yeah, especially consider that I don't own the car. So I was kind of guessing where things went.
Well, your guesses are better than my purposes, let me tell you. Got my eyes on Ron Hollyfield laying down his qualifying lap. Looks like he put down a 15th spot effort, bringing her with his best at 24.3.
Well, if you want to take a quick look at the points, Byron, your second place in points right now out on track, Jeff Hollingsworth, currently sitting 5th quick, coming around to finish his second lap right now. Not going to improve on that first lap, but real tight point standings.
Yeah, Scotty Brinson leading the pack only by 3 points. Jeff Hollingsworth 3 points off the mark, sitting in second. There's a big gap between Jeff Hollingsworth and third place Keith Mayato. Mayato being 51 points back behind Hollingsworth, 54 off of the lead. Paul Crumride in your 4th place and Chris Samard in 5th, 73 points back from your first place. I mean, it's between 4th, 5th, and 6th. It's only, a 4-point spread. When you get down to your 10th place car, Jeff Lubker, 141 points off the mark. It's going to be tight. I look for Scotty Brinson and Jeff Hollingsworth to try and stay out of trouble, complete their laps, and just like I always see towards the end of the race, they kind of sneak up there in the end.
Well, here's the other thing too, because I'm looking at the extended points from Wubker in 10th to Nate Siefker in 11th is only an 8-point gap.
Yeah, so there will be
I'm sorry, a 12-point gap.
Yeah.
And then you're only another 11 points back to Robert Dudley in 13th, another 6 to Bob Lacavara, Sam Cooper Bennett 8 back from Bob. So, I mean, this points battle is tight right now.
Yeah, so in this field, my friend, every broadcast I've done, I've always kind of picked my driver to watch. Someone that I know just kind of hangs out, stays out of trouble. He's low on the radar. You don't see his number called a lot during the race, but you see him towards the end of it. Who's your pick for the race tonight?
Well, from what I saw in practice, if he can stay clean, look for Mike Grandy to put it on the podium.
You know what? I agree with that one. I'm going to tell you what I am going to go with, and this might not be a popular decision, but my driver to watch tonight is going to be Rick Rayvon, because the races I've seen him come back in this league since he made his return, he has been just hammered down, throttle, disciplined, working corners. I watched him on 25-lap old tires hold off Mr. Get around the track real fast, Sage Karam. He made that 5-foot car feel 15 feet wide.
Oh, absolutely. And, Rick's no slouch. Don't let it fool you. What's the saying that you told me once? Old age and treachery will overcome youth and exuberance any day.
Any day of the week. But another saying, too, is it's easy to catch them. A little hard to get around them.
Well, the other thing, too, is you got to remember, Rick is one of us. And what I mean by that is Rick probably has more miles going in reverse than most of the rest of this field has going forward.
Taking a look at our qualifying so far, Keith Mayato still holding that top spot down. Chris Samar jumped up to second while we were, take that back. We have a new leader. Oh my gosh, laid down a 22.925. Where in the world did that come from?
It came from the fact that the track temperature just dropped 7 degrees.
Oh my Lord, checking the weather today so far. Looking at that track temperature right now, air temp at 77, track temp, 90 degrees and falling, folks. So to give you kind of a hint, what these tires will do, you get 90 degrees and falling, you're going to get a little more traction. You're going to get a lot more help out of those feel goods on the outside. But I didn't get a chance to ask, did you get a good idea what a fuel run's going to look like here tonight?
Fuel, you're looking between 40 and 45 laps. Tires, not so much.
Well, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a strategy race of when the first one's going to blink to hit pit road. New Hampshire, folks, if you're not really familiar with it, there's not much banking around those corners. Tires are what's going to hold that car down. And remember the conversation we had before about the aero on these cars. The car lead dog out in front of the pack's going to get all the air in his wings. He's going to get the best traction around the corners. Look for him to be running different lines around those corners in the pack to mid, back to the end.
The best explanation I've ever heard of New Hampshire Motor Speedway is if you put Indy in a dryer and shrunk it down to 1 mile.
I can go with that. That's pretty much how it feels.
Because there's not a lot of banking here. I mean, you're talking at best maybe 10 degrees if you're lucky on a good day.
Yep. Well, your top 10 is qualifying. As we're winding down, we got 1:15 left. I hear a car out in the track. It sounds like Cameron Bostain's out there turning a lap or two. Let's see if we can catch him. He just looks like he's on he's on a flyer.
No, he's not. He's already put his 2 laps in.
He's just continuing around the track, getting a little practice in, and I think
absolutely.
Take a look at who's sitting at the end of pit road.
Everybody's already laid down their times.
Well. So your top 10 qualifying come off like this. Scotty Brinson looks like he's going to roll off at the top spot, followed by Keith Mayato in second, Chris Bostain in third, or Cameron Bostain, I'm sorry, Chris Samar in fourth, Nate Siefker in fifth, Mike Grandy, Rick Raven, Jeff Hollingsworth, Chris Walker, and Jeff Wubker are going to round out your top 10, folks.
Absolutely. Relatively close times. I mean, you're less than a tenth of a second for your top 7. And then you've got a little bit of a fall off to, your next couple of spots. 20 thousandths between Ravon in 7th and Hollingsworth in 8th, which is virtually nothing. But then you got a little bit of a gap. You got just over a tenth from Hollingsworth to Walker. But then it tightens right back up 2 1,000ths of a second from Walker to Wubker. And then you're less than a tenth through the rest of the field.
Well, here we go, folks. Looks like we're going to be taking the grid right now. Let's bring up and see how it goes. Starting off first is going to be Mr. Scotty Brinson right up in the front in that 14 car, followed by Keith Mayato in second. Cameron Bostain's going to come off third, Chris Samar in fourth, followed by Nate Siefker in the inside of the third row. Outside third row be Mike Grandy. Rick Ravon, my driver to watch, starting in the 7th position. We'll see how he does towards the end of the race. Jeff Hollingsworth, another tough competitor, starting on the outside of the 4th row in 8th. Chris Walker and Mike Wubker rounding out your top 10. 11th is going to taking the grid be Mark Walker, Paul Crumry on the 12th starting spot. Sorry, I just kind of whopped the buttons. 15th, Mark Hagman.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
You skipped over row number 7,
yes,
which is going to see Robert Dudley and Tim Bates.
Yep, and Marcus Hagman, the world's fastest Swede, running in the league tonight at 15th. Landon Austin taking the grid at 17th, or 16th, sorry. 17th, Raul Alvarez. Kevin O'Brien running off 18th. Johnny Antonucci, a driver we're familiar with in another league. Great guy, 19th. And David Gainforth rolling off 20th.
21st is going to see Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. He's going to be joining in row number 11 with Jeff Clark. In row 12, starting shotgun of the field, it's Bob Lacavara starting 23rd and Ron Hollyfield. So 24 cars scheduled to roll off here tonight. The front row, very interesting. You've got the defending series champion and just what more can you say? Scott Brinson going 4-3 in a row here as far as championships. And then you've got the teammates starting outside of him. That's the Canadian crippler Keith Mayato and his teammate Chris Simard starting in the first and second rows on the outside as the field starts to roll off behind the Porsche pace car.
Yep, taking them on down. Porsche leading the way.
151 laps, the scheduled race distance here tonight. As we talked earlier, probably looking between a 2 and 3 stop race depending on your fuel strategy. We've seen it done quickly as the field works its way into turn number 3. Lights are already out on the pace car as Brinson going to lead him around.
Yeah, I got a little glitch in my scoring. I don't even see Brinson on my scoring screen.
That's all right. You're not going to see him yet as he's in that Fuzzy's number 14 as the pace car getting ready to make that hard left turn. The only thing that's left to say is, Grandpa, Papa Viagra, it's time to get it on at Loudon.
Yeah, green flag, and Brinson is gone. He said, hammer down, check out, let me get that fresh air on these fresh tires, and I'm going to lead you around this track.
Not the start Chris Simard was hoping for. He already lost a couple of spots. He's under heavy pressure right now. I'm sorry, it's Mike Grandy behind him. So Grandy on the team with Crumry and Simard, so a new face tonight. Under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, Mike Grandy losing a lot of time. Looked like he got up way high, tight, and just couldn't make that corner. Had to back it off before he met Mr. Wall.
Well, the thing is that the corners here, it's a late apex to make the corner right so you don't end up eating the wall on corner exit. The only problem is you leave yourself open to a dive bomb at that point.
Yeah. Take a look at that pack. They got some side-by-side racing focusing in on Mike Grandy there. Taking a look at your leader, Scott Brinson. He seems to be legging it out, holding it down, just holding that pretty wheel, just turning laps. I've seen a lot of give and take.
Oh, we're 3 wide.
Oh, where are we?
Simard, Hollingsworth, and Grandy. And I
make
just stand
that
corrected
four wide.
and
there's Hollingsworth. Oh. Folks, that's what we call a heck of a ride. Let's go back and see what happened.
Some booze come out.
Exactly. Focusing in on Hollingsworth, taking a ride along with him. Looks like he's just got loose on the bottom. And
Nate Siefker. Yeah, or no, that was Chris Walker, race car to the face.
Well, if let's back this up and take a look at it from the vomit cam, shall we?
On whose car?
Riding along with Mr. Hollingsworth as he gets loose and Nate Siefker plows him.
No, that wasn't Siefker. That was Chris Walker.
Oh, Chris Walker. Here we go. Hollingsworth gets down into that corner. All of a sudden, the rear end of that car just snaps loose, and pow, ladies and gentlemen. That's called up over. I couldn't even hold the camera on that. Let me get to the roll bar of that and take a ride with him. Now you're going to see what it looks like from his perspective. Ladies and gentlemen, close your eyes and hold on tight. Oh, my Lord. Poor Jeff.
Well, the good news is they have one fast repair. Bad news is Hollingsworth and Walker are going to be on the back foot from here on out. Looks like Johnny Antonucci may have caught a piece of that one too. No, he didn't.
Yeah, well, I've got the back half of the field, of course, with Jeff Hollingsworth, and I got Marcus Hagman, Chris Walker, David Gainforth, Sam Cooper Bennett, all deciding to take a pit side, get 4 fresh, good fuel goods, and a full tank of fuel.
I can't say I blame him. You've got to try something, and if you can get off sequence, I mean, yeah, we've only got 5 laps into the race at this point, but if you can get off sequence, you've got a chance at making something happen later on.
Well, something happened early on, that was for certain. It was just a car. You get too low in that corner and give it just a bit too much throttle. And that's what we call loose. It's loose is when the back end decides it wants to hit the wall. If the front end's trying to hit the wall, that's tight.
Oh, my goodness. As the lights go out on the pace car, Jeff Wubker's in trouble.
What happened with Jeff Wubker?
He is missing part of his front wing. He caught a piece of that one, and I don't think he realizes that car is as damaged as it is.
Well, let's see if I can get the high-speed drone out there in front of him. And oh my Lord, yes, you are correct, my friend. High-speed drone's picking up a good portion of that. It is not going to make it.
This is going to be interesting when we get to turn 1. Place your bets, folks. As the pace car getting ready to peel off, we're back underway as Brinson pulls the trigger.
Hey, I'm going to follow Wubker on the camera here and see if he can't hold it down in that first corner. He's already given up 3 spots.
Well, he's about to lose. There it is.
There it is, up to the wall.
That car is not turning in to save his life.
Nope, barely able to hold it. Guys,
what
getting
just
around
happened?
him. Oh, back behind him. Who was that, folks? It looked like Marcus Hagman had a problem. Let's go back and take a look at it.
Hagman and Lacavara got into it.
Oh, Hagman had to hit the binders. Car got loose and into the wall.
No, that was Raul Alvarez that almost ran Bob Lacavara over, and I think he may have touched him. And Lacavara just went around. And Race Control just announced that if there's another caution,
single file restarts.
They are going single file.
Anything we can do to get this race underway and get some guys going. We started logging, those first couple of laps were racy, but it looks like as you get a run in on these things, if you're not careful in the corner, you're putting too much power or too much brake, you're coming around.
Very much so, and that was done by design. If you make this car too drivable, you really kind of take it out of the driver's hands at that point because, anybody's blind grandmother could drive this thing at that point. So the setup committee, they really worked on something that you're going to have to drive it. It's not going to be just point and shoot. You really got to be up on the wheel. And this is pretty much the first short track we've gone to this season, I believe.
Yeah, working lap 9 at 151. Your top 10 standing out there sound out like this. Scotty Brinson up there in the first spot. Keith Mayauto holding down second. Nate Seifker sneaking up there, and so is Rick Ravon. There's your third and fourth place drivers. Chris Samard rounding out the top 5. Cameron Bostaine, Mike Grandy, Robert Dudley, Mark Walker, and Paul Crumry holding down the 10th spot.
I would like to remind everybody that in the month of May, as that's coming up very quickly, we will be broadcasting the 3rd Top Fuel Racing Indy 500, and all 33 starting spots have been taken.
Yes, they have, and yours truly holding down one of those 33.
So if anybody wants to buy that spot from Byron,
just send your money to Byron Rodney, Marietta, Ohio, P.O. Box OU812.
And if you want to double check that mailing address, you can reach Byron at area code 740-867-5309. If Byron doesn't answer, just tell his assistant Jenny that you want to buy his spot in the Indy.
That's right. Just say, Jenny, who should I turn to? Well, taking a look at the starting grid, just still working the pace laps. Lights are still on the pace car. Expect him to go off here when we cross the start-finish line. Scotty Brinson still holding down your top spot, like I said. Followed closely by Keith Mayauto and Nate Seifker. What is that paint job? He's not sporting that bright green paint job I saw last week.
No, that is the new paint scheme for NLR.
Well,
No Limit Racing, all running a new paint scheme, which was done by our very good friend driving the number 11.
yeah, taking a look at the number 11th car, holding down 15th place. That would be Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett flying. Ooh, looks like he brought out a version of Ruby for this race.
Yes, he did. So,
Ruby gaining its name from the car we ran at the 24 at Daytona on our team, where we managed to hold down a P3 overall. And I still thank Sam for letting me bring that, be the one to bring that car home over the checker flag at the end of the 24. And my partner here in the booth, Tony, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have made it through the overnight.
well, son of a bitch.
Uh-oh. What happened?
I don't know. I'm going to look. Ron Holyfield's missing the front of his car.
Oh, boy.
Let's go back and see what happened there.
Well, let me focus.
Oh, there it is. That looks like,
Time to back that up instant replay style. Let me get up on the chopper and see what happened with
Chris Walker lost it on the restart.
Oh, here we go. Looking at the restart. Oh, yes, he did.
Kevin O'Brien eating a piece of that one. Ron Holyfield eating a piece of that one. Jeff Hollingsworth just barely able to get by it.
Yeah, and folks, like I said, I apologize. I'm new on the cameras. I'm newest member of the ESPN broadcasting team. So when it comes to pushing buttons and keeping track of all this stuff, I'm getting a little better. But I missed that live, and we are working caution number 3.
Don't feel bad. I can't tell you how many times Sam and I have both done that.
I don't.
Hey, I'm not live.
Yeah, I really don't think that that's third caution. It's still calling it caution number 3. I don't think we actually got to green, did we?
It did. The green came out, and then immediately, like the first 2 rows got to cross the start finish line, which is why the pace car was able to come right back out.
Well, are you hearing any word from race control? Are we going single file?
Yeah, Scotty is telling them that's the last attempt. The next time it happens, if we get a caution within the next 5 laps, from the time the green is supposed to come out, we are going single file from here on.
Well, can't really blame the man on that. Lights are still on the pace car, working yet another caution lap. Almost kind of glad I did not bring out a drinking game tonight. I'd be drunk already. Look and see what I see. Look who's holding down spot number 3 and spot number... Well, I see 2 teammates there. Right in front of Rick Ravon.
They're going to be starting. Mayato and Samard are going to be starting right next to each other as Nate Siefker was able to have a...
He was able to advance that position by 1 before the yellow came right back out. I seem to have lost my partner there in the broadcast booth. Technical difficulties abound all over the place. Lights are still on the pace car as they work it down the backstretch. I expect the lights will be going out shortly. And we're going to take another look at restart here.
Channel timed out.
Yep, I lost my partner. Technical difficulties must be running here in good old Marietta, Ohio. Byron Rodney sitting up here in the ESPN broadcast booth. Coming to you live, New Hampshire, Top Fuel Racing. Take a look from the blimp, see what kind of restart we're going to be catching. We are going to attempt the side-by-side one more time. Scotty Brinson leading them to the line. Waiting on that green flag. Race car getting ready to take that hard left into pit road once we get past the backstretch. Green flag flies, leader goes. Let's see if we can't hold on to this one. Take a look from the blimp, get a good look at the field. Scotty Brinson getting ready to lead us off. two teammates sitting there behind Nate and Scotty. See what they've got for them. Pace car's off. Scotty drops the hammer. Green flag. Here we go. Looks like we're going to get a clean start on this one, folks, as we bring them around. Turn 1 and turn 2 complex, heading toward the back stretch. Scotty leading them down, legging it out over Nate Siefker, followed hotly by Mayotto and Samard, two teammates. There's that different line, folks, that everyone's running. Remember, leader's got the good air on those wings. He's holding down some downforce. Everyone else has got that disturbed air. Their car will not corner as well as that one in front. But the car behind is using a lot less fuel to get around that track than that one up front. So tire strategy and fuel strategy are going to come into this one. Figure it up big time. Scotty Brinson leading them around turn 4, coming back across the start-finish line. Nate Siefker following. Keith Mayotto, Chris Samard, and Cameron Bostaine rounding out your top 5. And it seemed to be singling out for the track here, folks. You can see them just working their way down the backstretch, just singling out. It's time to log laps. Guys have got to realize, you can't win it on the first lap. You can't win it on lap 20. You can't even win it on lap 140. But I'll tell you what, whoever's out in front at 151, that's going to come home with the gold, come home with the trophy, come home with the prize. I have never lost a race, folks, in my personal racing career. But I was running a little behind when we ran out of time. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Scotty Brinson legging it out. He's got a 0.8 second lead over second place Nate Siefker. Nate Siefker got Keith Mayotto right on his tail. Mayotto and Samard, they got to be working with it. And I believe my broadcast buddy is back. Tony.
Sorry, we just dropped connection for some reason.
Well, we've had a technical difficulty or two along the way. It's not the first time, not the last. Oh, heck, it'll happen again. We got a good, clean restart while you were away. Everyone seems to single it out. Scotty's got it legged out to a 1 second lead. Nate Siefker still holding down that second spot, but Keith Mayotto sure is working on him.
I'm still logging back into the session, so bear with me here.
Yeah, already. Oh, my man to watch, Rick Ravon, he's been holding in that top 5. Just moved down to the top 5, top 6. Him and Cameron Bostaine, they're just slugging it out. And do one up into the wall. Slowed down behind him. No yellow come out, continuing on. He's going to be a slow car in the track. Look out, because they're coming around like an angry buzz of bees. Our leader, Scotty Brinson, holding a pretty wheel, just logging that lap, coming up onto some lap traffic.
Yeah, that's going to be really the key tonight, is how effectively can the leaders get through lap traffic.
Well, once the leader gets out there, he's legged it out to a 1.2 second lead over our second place car, Nate Siefker. Half a second over Keith Mayotto, another almost half a second over Chris Samard. I don't expect Mard and Mayotto to race each other really hard in the early stages of this race.
No, they don't run each other on the ragged edge. Even when they're running for the win, they don't run each other on the ragged edge. But I'm watching this battle right now for fourth between Samard, Bostaine, and Raven, and it's a couple of pucker moments so far.
Yeah, I've seen Rick Raven take it high. I've seen Rick Raven take it low. I've seen him take 5th place. I've seen him take 4th and give it back. He's working it. He wants to get that track position. He knows the further Scotty legs it out, the harder it's going to be to catch him in the later stages of the race.
Well, as of right now, we're about halfway through the fuel run. That's because I was told that a green flag fuel run, you're looking right around 40 to 45 laps, and currently working lap 28. So
it'd be interesting to see when these guys decide to take a pit side. Hey, are we going to come short pit it for tires, make up the time, or are we going to run that full out and see if we can do it in less stops?
Good question, and I wish I had an answer for it, but
last week I watched one of the drivers went completely off cycle. like he knew something, and it played out with a guys on pit strategy, whether they're going to make it on 3 stops or 2 stops towards the end of the race. And I saw the great equalizer come out, the yellow flag, worked out in his favor completely.
Well, here's something I'd like to point out to you. Gone a lap down, got caught up in that first dumpster fire of the night. Went a lap down, is currently running in 10th, and that's your second place in points, Jeff Hollingsworth.
Yep, and it looks like he's been to pit lane 3 times already. He's not using that fast repair. He's pit farming that repair, getting it going.
Oh, no, he burned the fast repair.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, there was virtually nothing. Crap. Oh, no.
What happened?
Sam Cooper Bennett got caught up in it. Looks like Raul Alvarez may have caught a piece of it, too.
Well, let's focus in on Sam Cooper Bennett, see what happens. He takes Ruby down into the turn. Oh, just loses it. All of a sudden, the rear end just snapping loose on Sam.
Well, he's down on that section of track. It's progressive banking here. And if you'll notice in the corners of those dotted lines, each one of those lines is a different degree of banking.
Let's take a ride with Sam, see how that worked from his perspective on top of his helmet, on the helmet cam. Brings her down into the corner and just loops it around. Oh, that's a heartbreaker for Sam. So what do you think, Tony? Are we going to have some takers on pit road?
Safe bet. You know, you're about 3/4 of the way through a fuel stint. You've burned most of the goodie off the tires by now. Yeah, I'm going to say we're probably going to see at least the front half, at least half of the front half of the field go pit side.
Well, here they come. I see Scotty Brinson leading them down pit lane. He's got the first pit stall there. Let's see if he can make it in and make it out in that same position. He's still working his way down to his pit stall.
Like Jeff Wubker, the only one staying out, as Keith Mayato slides through stall, still not up on the jacks.
And, whoa! Did Nate beat him out, or did Scotty beat him out just by a hair? That was a close one, ladies and gentlemen.
Siefker got him, and Scotty just... you should hear Scotty on the radio right now.
I can imagine.
He's asking if anybody knows where his pit crew can get an illicit substance.
Oh,
or at least some hemlock for Siefker's crew.
Yeah, it looks like Jeff Wubker stayed out to lead a lap so he can get that championship point. He'll be looking for him to be bringing it pit side here shortly.
Well, if you remember, Wubker had to go pit side during the clustering because he had wing damage, so he can go a few more laps than the rest of these guys. Meanwhile,
Wubker out there leading the pack in that blue and white car. Let's see if he decides to bring her on in pit side this go round.
Oh, that's David Gainsforth, who is staying out hoping to get the wave around. Driving the player's special.
Yeah, I see 3 cars out in front of, or 2 cars out in front of Nate there.
Well, one of them is Jeff Wubker. The other one is the blue player's car is David Gainsforth, who is currently 4 laps down, getting the wave around there. So now he's officially 4 laps down.
And if I'm not mistaken, lights are out in the pace car, and Jeff Wubker, 34 laps out, or 26 out there on his tires. He's staying out. He's gonna go roll on the lead. And from what we've seen, it looks like on the restarts, Tony, my friend, tire spin is real.
Tire spin is real, and he is putting the car in the best possible position. Starting on the outside lane, you've got the best chance because you've got the most rubber laid down on the exit of 4.
Man, you got an angry, buzzing beast full of hornets right behind you, though. All on fresh skins.
Look for him to have the lead on the backstretch, not so much beyond that. As the pace car makes that hard left turn and holds him down.
Holds him down. There he goes, hammered down. And Nate Siefker, look at the jump that Nate gets.
Wow. And that's what the difference between 28 lap tires and fresh tires.
Well, Jeff Wubker is the #1 president of the I Needed a Call. Oh! Scotty Brinson and Nate Siefker make contact.
That was after the caution came out, too.
Oh, my Lord. Let's back that up. See what happened with Nate and Scotty. It looked like Scotty just washed up into Nate a little bit as they were working that. And I think that, I don't know where that caution came from there, Tony.
The caution came from Chris Walker.
Let's go back and see if we can see what happened there. Going back to Chris Walker. I don't even see Chris in here anymore. There we go. Coming off the restart, taking a look at Chris Walker as they hit green. He hits a hammer down, crosses the start-finish line. Looks to hold the inside line going into turn 1-2 complex. Washes it right. Oh, just loses it. Coming around and catches a tail. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
And it looks like he might be retiring that car.
Chris Walker has put it on the hauler.
Well, can we say slobber knocker? Thank God it's not a drinking game. Working lap 38 of 151, folks. Race control can't be very happy. Race control. Oh, where did Scotty drop down to? 13. He's down to P13, still in the pit. As yours
that's one way to put it.
As yours truly will return in just a second.
But yeah, race control definitely not the happiest of drivers right now. Siefker's staying out as David Gainsforth. But Siefker, Bastain, Ravon, Dudley, Bates, Grandy, Mark Walker, who's still in the race, Johnny Antonucci, Landon Austin, and Keith Mayato rounding out your top 10. So,
sorry about that. Had to take a moment to
understandable.
Handle something. Let me push some dang buttons. Let's take a look around this track as the lights are still on the pace car.
Oh.
Taking a look from the nose of Mr. Nate Siefker, looking at that pit. Look at the tail end of that Porsche. It's kind of a good-looking car, don't you think?
Sorry, I'm just listening to a rant going on right now, and understandably, your points leader coming into tonight is not the happiest of campers right now.
No, he's not. And looking at the
please
grid now,
tell me you don't have in-race chatter on the stream.
No, I don't, because we try to keep it a PG-13. Okay, maybe we bounce a little R, but no, I ain't having that on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. Turn the in-game chat off before starting broadcast.
Yes.
Well, we see the lights went off on the pace car, so I think we're getting ready to give this another try.
Absolutely. Siefker taking the inside line this time as we got a little bit of a blinker. That's Robert Dudley on the outside of row number 2. Siefker with the nose out front, wasted no time, drops the hammer, and we're back underway. But Stain not able to keep up. He's under heavy pressure right now from Rick Ravon as Tim Bates throws it to the inside of...
Oh, and we got another one going around. That would be, look like Mark Walker, but no caution. He saved it.
No, that was Bates.
Oh, Bates.
That was Bates getting it 8 different kinds of sideways coming through 1 and 2.
Yeah, well, he dropped a whole mess of positions, let me tell you.
Yes, he did, but we stay green.
Yep, Nate Siefker still out front, legging it out a little bit, but Cameron Mustaine holding that number 2 spot. Look who's sitting in third there, just looking for the opportunity. Mustaine makes a bobble. Ravon's going to eat his lunch.
Yes, he is. And if you take a look a little bit further back, Keith Mayato trying to reel in some spots as he's working on the back of Mark Walker right now. He's already gotten by Jeff Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth up into 7th. Walker holding down the top 5 spot, and Mayato wants it badly.
Yeah, now remember, coming into this race, there were only 3 points separating first and second place in points. With Scotty Brinson holding first and Jeff Hollingsworth 3 points behind him. That's exactly what separates them on the track. 3 positions. That's 3 points, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and Brinson on a charge right now, restarted in 14th and trying to do what he can to reel in Hollingsworth. Now, mind you, Brinson does have the bonus point for leading a lap already.
Yeah, and
Hollingsworth does not.
Yep, and there are 2 cars in between them, plus that 1 point for leading. That equals out to, 2 points in Hollingsworth's favor at the moment?
2 points in Brinson. It's 1 point in Brinson's favor.
1 point Brinson's favor? Ooh, talk about a close championship.
They are currently tied. At this exact moment in time, they are tied.
You know what? They may not
on positions, not including the bonus points for leading laps, which I'm not sure if there's a bonus point for pole position or not. Don't quote me on that.
Well, I tell you what, they may not be close to each other on the track, but they are close to each other in the points, and they know it. And
Landon Austin wanting to get the hell out of the way. He knew Brinson was not happy to begin with, doing what he can to just... I'm not getting run over. Thanks. Here you go, bud.
Make that one car of the number 27 of Chris Samard in between Scotty and Jeff. And we're going to see a slugfest.
As Walker and Mayato side by side right now. Mayato to the inside as they go into turn number 3. That's Hollingsworth and Samard right behind them. So throw a blanket over 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah, and and Mayato needs to be careful, because if we've seen anything on this race, you get too low in that corner, whoa, the tail wants to get happy, especially when she gets a little light in fuel. Yeah,
the second lane, and if you'll notice in the corner, you see those dotted lines. The second lane up, you're safe. That bottom lane is it's as flat as the apron is, and there's a lot of dirt down there because nobody wants to run down there. So,
taking a look back up at the top, Nate Siefker, you can see the interval between, you get a good shot on that. You can see the interval between first and second right there. That is what 1.3 seconds looks like here at New Hampshire. And that is what fresh air can do for the leader.
Very much so, as he's coming up on lap traffic, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to have to see how he can navigate it. And when he gets up to lap traffic, that means the leader's not going to have that clean air we were talking about, folks. Look for his lap times to slow down a little bit.
Scotty Brinson working on the backside of his teammate right now. That's Paul Crumryan. That paint scheme just is messing me up to no end. I'm used to seeing Paul in, some form of cola or as some of y'all say, pop paint. So to see him in a throwback Newman Haas scheme, it's kind of trippy. But Scotty Brinson working on the back of him right now as Hollingsworth up to 5th.
Yeah, if you take a look at your top 10, coming up, looking at it like this.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, caution,
Tim
caution,
Bates.
caution. Let's take a look and see what happened with Tim.
Got way too low in the corner, and luckily nobody collected him.
Yep, you called it. Too low, down below that first set of hash marks. That seems to be death for these cars as he
No, that's just death here at New Hampshire, period. Any car. I don't care what car you're in.
Yes, he rolls it in pit side. I don't know if he has his fast repair available or not, but he's going to need some repair, especially in the front end of that car.
We're about to find out.
Well, let me bring it back live. Yeah, he got a new front end in that car, so I'd say he did it in 9.1 seconds. That was a fast repair, ladies and gentlemen.
So a lot of guys on the back foot right now.
20 laps into this stint. Is the leader going to lead him down pit row? And looks like, yes, he is. Pretty much the whole first top 10 of the field, they're going to bring it on in pit side.
Can't say I blame them.
They're going to get those those 4 field guns. They're going to get that full tank of fuel. I think they feel a lot more comfortable with fresh tires and full tank holding them down on the track.
Paul Crumrice stays out to lead a lap.
Points are key around here. Looking to see who makes it on out of pit road. Holy croly, look at that pit stop. That's 7.7 by both Seifker and Ravon.
Scotty Brinson's staying out. Try to get some track position back.
That puts him on another pit cycle along with Paul Crumrice. 16 laps out there.
Well, like you said, you're only maybe a third of the way through your fuel stint, and you can save a ton of fuel, under the caution like this. So, 17 cars on the lead lap still, though.
Yeah, Timothy Bates looks like he's going to... Well, he won't get that wave around. He was the caution. As I saw Sam Cooper Bennett take it pit side, showing to be...
Sam got the lucky dog. He was 4 laps down. He's now only 3.
Well, that's a lesson, folks. Stay in it, because guess what? If he stays tenacious, stays out of trouble, his wreck avoidance, guess what? He'll get those laps back by the looks of things.
The way this race is going is we're still 100 laps to go, roughly. As this is still anybody's race. It's you can be mad and you can get pissed off, but you've got to still keep your wits about you.
Now let's remember that last restart where we saw that one car stay out on 20-lap old tires and everyone else had fresh tires behind them. Didn't work out so well. I got the top 2, working 17 laps on their tires here. Everyone else on fresh tires behind them. Scotty in second, and look at the 6th place starter at Jeff Hollingsworth. I think he's going to catch Scotty pretty quick.
Here's the thing. The reason you saw that happen on the previous restart was because you had fresh tires starting directly next to old tires.
Now we got old tires holding down the whole field. Look for things to get tied up a little here.
It's about to get interesting. As Crumrice going to lead him back to green, giving Scotty Brinson the preferred line on the outside. Look for Crumrice to not play games, because he's elbow deep in this points battle. Brinson's elbow deep in this points battle. So you got your front row is elbow deep, and then you've got everybody behind them. The next points battle is Jeff Hollingsworth.
And there they go. Hammer drop. And, oh my God, Crumrice gone.
Well, let's see what happens here with Seifker on the fresh skins. As he's working the backside of Scotty Brinson right now, and
he elects to
Jeff
go low.
Clark.
Jeff Clark looked like he spun that bad boy around. Let's take a look.
And that's going to be the end of Tim Bates' night.
Jeff almost ended Sam Cooper Bennett's night as well. I think that might be the
some
end of
booze come out!
And then some. How do we say they changed the color of the fire suit, didn't they?
Change the flavor of it.
Color, flavor, the whole bet.
Something along the lines of a chocolate lemon, I think. And if you don't get that joke, you're not old enough to be watching this broadcast.
Back under caution, number 7, working lap 58 of 151. Well, you know what? I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back in the booth. I'd be kind of hard-pressed, maybe looking for words to say right about this point after working, seeing how these cars, it's just New Hampshire, folks. It's not the drivers. It's not the cars. It's get too low in that corner. You're dancing a fine razor line. Low around the corners is the fast way around the track. Up high, you're pushing into that wall, man. There's just it's a tight edge to walk in these things.
There are 2 tracks, and they don't appear on every season schedule. Is Sam Cooper Bennett getting another wave around because he was able to avoid the wreck there. So Sam now only 2 laps off the lead, but
I might have to change my driver to watch.
the 2 tracks that I absolutely cringe when I see them on the schedule are both 1-mile ovals.
Let me guess, New Hampshire and
Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to broadcast any race in any series at either one of these 2 tracks that does not turn into a dumpster fire. And it's nothing against the drivers, because it is those of you who've been longtime watchers of ESPN and what were our previous incarnation, you know that we have some very talented drivers that we bring to you every week. So it's not the drivers, it's the track.
Yep, and it's just how much do you know the track? Do you know where that razor thin line is? And let's face it, folks, iRacing is not a game. It is a simulation, and they've stepped up that game in their game in the simulation by making this track. Believe it or not, as these cars circulate that track, just that one lane is going to raise itself in temperature over the rest of the track. Even though when we look at the weather, it's 81 degrees on the track temperature, but that one lane that they're all trying to run, I'll guarantee you that's 10 degrees, 20 degrees hotter.
Oh, safe bet. Absolutely safe bet. But, the other thing to keep in mind, too.
Oh, man, looks like technical difficulties and connection drop is going to hit my man Tony again. But you know what? He'll be back. All right, lights are out on the pace car, ladies and gentlemen. We're watching Scotty Brinson and Paul Crumride leading them around. That pace car. Yep, there he goes. Pace car is going to get ready to take that hard left into pit road after we get done working the back straight here. Lining them up 2 by 2. Your top 10 looks like Paul Crumride, Scotty Brinson, Nate Sifker, Cameron Bostaine, Rick Ravon, your top 5. Jeff Hollingsworth, Keith Mayato, Chris Samard, Robert Dudley, rounding out your top 10. Pace car coming off of turn 3, working turn 3-4 complex. Look for it to make that left turn into pit lane. See how long before Paul decides to hold him down. Pace car's off. He's holding him down, holding him down. Ooh, he's going to really hold him down. He says, okay, I held you long enough. I'm gone. Green flag racing, folks. Hopefully these guys will just kind of realize I can't get too low on these corners. I need to kind of hold it out here and keep it from going yellow or spinning. Single it out and ride for a bit. Goes back to my lecture, folks. You can't win it on 1. You can't win it on 50. You can't even win it on 100. And you got to be at 151. Scotty Brinson working the backside of Paul Crumride right here, looking for that first spot. Got Nate Sifker right up under his tail. You got to be wondering how much clean air these guys are following. Nate just holding her down on the fresher asphalt down there. Looks like he is just going to double that right around. Say bye-bye, Mr. Crumride, Scotty Brinson to the point. Nate Sifker out to second. I think those older tires are working on Paul, and Scotty learned how to handle those older tires just a little bit better. As he's starting to leg it out. See, I told you that fresh air is king, and we have got a mess sitting in here between second and sixth. Looking at our 6th place, Mr. Jeff Hollingsworth, just holding her down. He knows Scotty's out there. He's only, 1.4 seconds behind Scotty. He's keeping him in his sights. But your sights don't work too good around this track. It's only maybe a 3/4 of a mile long. It's a mile-long track, oval, flat. Traction is key. Hold on and hang on. 27 laps on those tires of Scotty, so you got to wonder how long he's going to hold it out there before he says uncle. Working the back stretch. Scotty leading them down, just legging it out up to 0.7. I'm amazed. He has got way older tires in second place than Nate Seeker, and he is just stretching out that lead slowly but surely. Scotty does know how to run it. Let's, older tires. I planted cameras all over Scotty's car when he wasn't looking, when the officials weren't looking. Why don't we take a look from our driver's point of view? Right on top of his roll bar is a GoPro. Take a lap around New Hampshire with Mr. Scotty Brinson. Right along with Scotty Brinson. Give you an idea. New Hampshire, it may be flat, it may be a mile long. Working that back straight. We're topping 180 miles coming to the corner, folks. Dipping her down to 135 around the corner, back up to 180 before the next corner. That is what 1 mile looks like around New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Looking further down the pack, Keith Mayato in 7th place, just riding off the tail of Jeff Hollingsworth. Rick Revon holding down that 5th spot. The Cameron Bostaine in 4th. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. All within half a second of each other. Throw a blanket over those 4 folks. Looks like they've all decided, you know what? Let's just log some laps. Let's get to the next strategy point. As Rick Revon getting a little racy there. Looking to take 4th place from Cameron Bostaine as he ducks down below him. Has the line. Cameron with the momentum on that outside, just holding it. Be careful, Rick. We know what that bottom lane's been doing to everyone as we go 3 wide, it looks like, with Hollingsworth there. We got a four-way race for 4th place here, folks. Is Rick deciding, hey, look, I can't hold it down here, guys. Looks like he's going to get shuffled all the way back to 6th, 7th, and then fall into line. So, looks like this. 4th place, Cameron Bostaine, Jeff Hollingsworth, Keith Mayato, followed closely by Rick Revon. Your closest battle on the track, ladies and gentlemen. Taking a look at your leader, Scotty Brinson. He's just legged it out to a 2.5 lead over your 2nd place driver, Nate Seeker. 3 seconds, or no, another 1.8 seconds back to Paul Kremrye. And Cameron Bostaine holding down the 4th position with a Jeff Hollingsworth just right on his tail. That 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th battle is not going to go away. That is your closest, folks. But keeping an eye on my man Scotty out there. 37 laps. You got to wonder when he's going to blink. When is he going to bring a pit side? He's got to be running out of fuel. This guy here is, the number 1 president of the, ladies and gentlemen, I Need a Caution fan club. Just riding along with Scotty. Holding a pretty wheel. He's just legging it out. 1.6 seconds over Nate Seeker in 2nd. But Nate, he's got 16 less laps on them tires. And I forgot to hit a button. There we go. Hit that button, take that away. Scotty over hoping and praying for a caution. Everyone rolling that track fine. following your leader. There's second place down the back straight behind him. That's what 1.7 seconds looks like here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway when you're firing off laps in anger. Working lap 78 of 151. It's a two-stop race for Mr. Brinson. If he legs it out another couple of laps, he can do it. Actually, one more stop. So he's got to make two stops. Everyone's got to make two stops. So this might have worked out in Scotty's favor. And the other favor it might have worked out in is Paul Crumry, our third place driver. That might have worked out in his favor as well. Eyes on the leader. Oh, his caution's out. Jeff Clark loops it around, brings out the caution. Boy, that was Scotty's best friend right there. Let's take a look at what happened. Focused in on Jeff Clark. Coming around to turn 3, turn 4. Did he just take it a little too low? Yep. You've seen it how many times, folks? You drop it down into those lines, around you're going to go. Too low in the corner. Loops it around, slow loop, brings out the caution. Luckily, everybody managed to stay off of him. Caution flags out, going back live. That man right there, ladies and gentlemen, Scotty Brinson. Oh my word. Talk about going from the outhouse to the penthouse. Everyone's going to come in and get fresh tires. You know, he's had 43 laps on those tires in that tank. Everyone else had 27, so everyone's coming in. We're going to take a look and see what pit lane looks like when they come off. Working those pit stops. First one to his box. You'll see that timer start to move. That'd be Paul Crumry, followed by Nate. Scotty's in there. Let's keep an eye and see who makes it out past that green cone. 4 fresh feel goods in. Oh my gosh! Looks like Nate beat Scotty out again. Scotty's got to be wondering, what do I got to do to pay that crew? Nate Seifker with 7.9 second pit stop. Scotty with a longer one, 8.6. 8.6 seconds to Nate's 7.9. That equals, you're going to lose a spot, pal. Kevin O'Brien looking out to stay out on the track, lead a lap. He's going to be bringing it in pit side. Scoring that point for leading the lap. And that is going to hand our lead over to that new paint job on that car. Confusing the heck out of me. Mr. Nate Seifker. You know what? I called out cars to watch during the race. And I told you, let's take a look at Rick Rabon. He's been bouncing out, up and down. Rick stayed out of trouble all race long. Started 7th, currently running 7th. We've seen him as high as 4th. He hasn't fallen any further low than 7th. Holding a pretty line. That was my racer to watch. Staying under the radar, staying out of trouble. He's holding down that 7th spot. New Hampshire's giving him fits, I can imagine, as it is everyone else. You've seen the cars loop around. We're working lap 83 at 151 on our 8th caution. Nate Seifker coming out of the pits in first. Scotty Brinson second. Taking a look at your top 10. Like I said, Nate, Scotty, Paul Crumry, Cameron Mustaine, Keith Mayato rounds out your top 5. Chris Samartin, your 6th. 7th would be Rick Rabon. Mark Walker, Jeff Hollingsworth back up to 9th, and Robert Dudley holding down the 10th spot. But we are all back on cycle. Everyone can make it on one more pit stop. Now we know we can get 40 laps out of it. Backtrack that. So lap 110, there's your magic bubble. Your window opens about lap 108 to 110. And then it turns out to who's going to blink first to come on in for that pit stop. Pace car makes its way around turn 3. Coming into turn 4, Nate Siefker, he's got control of the field. Is he going to go or is he going to hold him down? Is he going to play that game? He knows he's got Scotty on fresh skins on the outside of him in the preferred lane. Let's see what happens. Pace car makes that hard left turn in. Nate says, see ya, I'm out of here. Scotty must have missed a shift because he dropped way back on that restart. And Nate Siefker has already legged it out to a half-second lead. Second place, Scotty Brinson. And an angry nest of Hornets running right behind him. Watching the 2 wide racing come around that corner. Guys, be careful. You got fresh tires. You can hold that low line for a couple of laps, but it doesn't seem to want to hold more than a couple of laps. Settle them down, single file them out, roll to your money stop. The pit window, like I said, 108 to 110 is when the window opens up where they can make it the rest of the way on fuel, but it's all going to be who's going to stretch that out to see any further they go. This is going to turn into a pit strategy. When do I go? Who blinks first? Nate Siefker out riding a comfortable 0.6 second lead. Scotty Brinson holding down second. Man, after watching that wreck, there's the guy right there. From the penthouse to the outhouse, back to the penthouse. Persistence and patience pays off. You take a look at 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. 4 cars, 2 teammates. Keith Mayato, Paul Kremrod, Chris Samard, and Cameron Bostain just going hammer and tong side by side. Throw a blanket over those 4 right there. Outside line seems to be getting the momentum and holding the lead as you come to the line. I would look for Keith to jump up to that outside line as soon as he could. Brumride, he just gets that run, and then it's a drag race down to the start finish. But the outside line seems to have the advantage. That's about as close as you can get racing open wheeled, folks. Let's take a ride with Chris Samard. Take a look on his GoPro we put up on the roll cage. Gains out momentum, sucks up, but loses that arrow downforce, and you see him have to back off, or it's going to be hello, Mr. Wall. Riding that extreme high line, as that looks like Hollingsworth right there. No, that's number 44, Rick Ravon. Up into the thick of things. Taking a look from, he just rolling, yeah, legging it out. That outside line's the one that's got the steam. As Rick, he's working on Keith Mayato in 5th. Rick holding down that 6th spot. He gained that position, boy. He just didn't gain it, he earned it. He worked hard for it. Palms are sweating, arms are getting tired. He's got that outside line. Looks like he's going to get around Keith Mayato and claim that next spot. Keith Mayato holding it down low and holding it from spinning around. But look at the momentum that outside lane just carries. It is a killer. Close racing right here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Oh, contact between Rick Ravon and Keith Mayato. Don't know who come up, don't know who went down, but we're getting racy, folks. It's starting to get towards the end stages of this race. If you've got it left, time to hit the scramble button and go. Taking a look back up at our leader. This is what 1.9 seconds looks like at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Here comes first place, and you see second place just coming around the corner. First place heading around the corner, there goes second place. Scotty just riding it out. He knows he's just biding time. He's got the points lead. Nate Siefker, He's not in the top 10 in points, so Scotty knows that, hey, I just need to finish ahead to that Jeff Hollingsworth guy. 3 points is all that separates him in the championship points coming into this. We'll see where we settle out on the way out of it. Working lap 97 of 151. Going back to that gaggle of cars we call. Well, third place is legged it out to a 2 second, another 2 second, 2 second. It's back behind Scotty, but Rayvon's right there behind him. Keith Mayato right behind Rayvon, and oh my God, there is championship implications right there. Jeff Hollingsworth, folks. Let's take a look and see what happened. It looks like Jeff goes in low. Does he get pushed up into that corner? Oh, net coated. That looked like a net code right there, if I ever saw one. Let's follow along with Hollingsworth on that. Looks like he gets around. Yeah. Oh, Jeff. That's got to hurt. That is going to have championship implications big time. Because Jeff has already used up that fast repair that we have, folks. Jeff taking it pit side. Nate Siefker bringing her pit side. Scotty Brinkson bringing her pit side. Folks, unless they know something I don't, they still got to make another stop. But if they can make 51 laps on fuel, that's what we call a long way to go on fuel. But if they know something I don't, this might just be the money stop, ladies and gentlemen. Who's going to make it off of pit road first? That would be Mr. Nate Siefker, followed by Scotty Brinson. Cameron Bostaine and the two teammates of Samard Mayato making it out. Ninth caution, working lap 100 of 151. I'm going to take it on up to the leader here, Rick Rayvon. Maybe he knows everyone's got to make another stop. Maybe him and Kevin O'Brien know that you guys can't make 51 laps in anger on this thing. Kevin O'Brien bringing it pit side. Rick staying out on 18-lap old tires. We saw this last week. It didn't look like it was going to work out in his favor until that great equalizer of pit strategies, the caution flag, came out and said, hey guys, level playing field. And Rick went from 0 to hero on that strategy in a heartbeat. But that was then, and this is now. New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Byron Rodney up here in the booth. ESPN bringing it to you. We'll be right back. Byron Rodney up here in the booth. ESPN, the Esports Broadcasting Network, bringing you Top Fuel IndyCar Series live from New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Championship implications just happened, ladies and gentlemen. We saw Jeff Hollingsworth just got caught up into something that over here in iRacing, we call it net code. Damage model, whether the mathematics went wrong, it doesn't matter. The car, there was 2 or 3 feet between them, and it just acted like he just got rear-ended and pushed right around. And I know it's a heartbreaker for him. And it looks like he has taken it to the hauler. So, pace car, Porsche bringing him around, turn 3-4 complex. Look for him to make the hard left turn into pit road. Nate Siefker, Rick Rayvon has the button. Is he going to hold him down, or is he going to make it Yo, he didn't waste no time. He did the best he could without spinning those wheels. Right. Oh, back off the back and caution. Right back out. Landon Austin just stepping all over himself there on that restart by the looks of it. Let's take another look at it. Landed in the 80 car. Oh, just big checkup on that inside line. Don't know what happened there. See if we can catch that from the chopper. Let's take a look from the blimp, see what the blimp caught. Watch and see if that inside line checks out. Rick Ravon, he drops the hammer as that car makes the turn. And yes, the inside line just did not go on. Big checkup and, sorry, man. Just an innocent victim. Bringing her back live. Watching the field, just kind of holding back, waiting for the pace car to come around. Now guys are starting to think, hey, maybe I can. We got enough pace laps. I can stretch that 100 or that last 51 laps. Enough pace laps. We can make it. Well, I'm so glad I didn't start the drinking game, folks, tonight for you. 10 caution. Working lap 104 of 151. Folks, I got to tell you, it's not the drivers in this league. I have raced with these drivers. They've taken me under the wing. They've shown me tricks that I didn't know existed. They showed me ways to operate these vehicles that I never knew I could do. This caliber of driver that is in this league is right up there on the top. It's not the cars or the drivers, folks. Now, the guys that create the setups, the setup committee for these cars, they are some top-notch engineers. And like I said, iRacing is not a game, folks. This is a simulation. And you have control over every aspect of working these cars, of getting everything right, just like they do in real life. So it's not the setup, folks. It just happens to be the track in this case, is the instigator of all of this. New Hampshire Motor Speedway is a flat 1 mile oval, kind of like a paperclip almost like a larger Martinsville. But like my broadcasting buddy Tony, before he lost on technical difficulties, he said, this is taking Indianapolis, putting it in a shrink down machine, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and here you go. Same size car, smaller track. When you take a look at these cars, when they come around, let's grab a look-see here. When we get to the corners, let's take a look from the roll bar up here on Mr. Ravon's car. You're going to see some lines. It look like the lines we see on the freeway. You know, 1 lane, 2 lane, 3 lane, 4 lane wide. Those are your marks, folks. That shows the lanes. And if you get below that line that is under Rick's left tires right now, you are running the risk of under power with low downforce of losing control of the rear end of your car. We call that loose. The rear end wants to come around you. It wants to. Your rear end wants to beat you to the front, to the start-finish line ahead of your front end. And that right there, folks, is what seems to be happening with all the cautions today. Most everything has been just flat out, guys, just looping it on the corners. And I feel sorry for the ones that have been caught up in the damage. I feel sorry for the ones that have been, affected by it. Championship implications massively. We're going to have a shakeup. Jeff Hollingsworth is 3 points back. He's still probably going to hold down that second spot because Keith Mayato is 51 points behind him in the championship points. Crumry is only 11 points behind Mayato, and Samard's only 8 points behind Crumry. So we're just looking at the cars making that caution circuit of the track. Looks a lot different when you were riding along with Rick, under caution than it does when you're riding along with a driver under power. I don't know if they've called for single file starts, but the lights are out on the pace car, and let's take a look to see how they're shaping up to start. Yes, we are rolling 2 by 2. Your top 10. Coming around to take green flag as we work down the back straight. Rick Rabon leading them down there. Nate Siefker, Keith Mayato, Cameron Bostain, and Chris Samard rounding out your top 5. Mike Randy sneaking up into the top 10 with a strong showing in 6th place. Mark Walker, Jeff Blubker, Marcus Hagman, and Paul Krumrei rounding out your top 10. Pace car coming around the turn 3-4 complex here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. You're going to see him take that hard left into pit lane, and it's all on Rick, man. 25 laps on them tires. Is he going to hold him down? Is he going to go like he did the last time? And Rick holding him down. There he goes. Hits the scramble button. We are green, folks. Back underway here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Rick Rabon, your leader, but he's out on 26 lap old tires. Guaranteed he has to make another stop. Other cars, I don't know on the fuel situation. We get any more cautions if they're going to be able to stretch that tank to where they can do it right here, right now. So, depending on cautions and depending on everyone else's pit strategy, Mr. Rabon here is either going to be a hero, a genius hero at that, mad scientist, you know, super genius level hero, or he's going to be, I better go back to the mathematics table and figure this crap out, 0. Seeing them guys working, Nate Siefker looked like he almost caught a piece of that wall. As the caution comes back out. Hold the phone, folks. That's your championship leader right there, Scotty Brinson. Let's see if we can catch a look and see at what happened. Oh, yeah. Poor Scott. Take a ride around and see what we see from Scott's GoPro. Holding down his position on the racetrack. Look like Cameron Bostain. Is that Cameron Bostain? Oh, gosh. Someone got loose in front of him and just caught a piece of it. Scotty, I hope you got a fast repair. Well, we're going to have a championship run. You take it back up to our leader, Rick Rabon, out there on 30 laps old tires. No one else is wanting to flinch into the pits because they've been in there. They've been 11 laps is the next oldest tires. And if we keep catching cautions like this, those guys are going to be able to save enough fuel to make it to the end. Rick going to have to bring it pit side. I don't think Scotty's very happy camper right about now. But he's still logging laps, moving up on that point because Jeff Hollingsworth did take it pit side and put it behind the wall. And ladies and gentlemen, I think Mr. Brinson may have done the same. I don't see him out on the track. Looks to me like Scotty Brinson has put it on the hauler, folks. He knows he's got 13 laps up scoring up on Jeff Hollingsworth. He knows he's probably going to hold on to the points lead, but oh my Lord, he is not going to be a happy camper. Pace car working its way around the turn, leading them down, lights still on. This is going to be interesting, folks. Working lap 112 of 151. We're getting to the end stages of this. I look for guys to get racy. I look for a few more cautions in this thing. Not our proudest hour in cautions, but I'll tell you what. Like I said, folks, a lot of it's the track. I'll bet you anything and then some that our points leader, Scotty Brinson, is going to disagree with that one on, oh, that's not the track, it's the drive. It's going to be interesting to see how this shakes out after the race, but For now, lights are out in the pace car. Leading them around, lining up 2 by 2. Working down the backstretch. Your top 10 looking like this. Rick Ravon still staying out there. 31 laps on those tires and that fuel. He's got to come to pit lane. He don't have a choice. Nate Siefker in second. Cameron Bostaine third. Fourth, Keith Mayato. Fifth, Chris Smard. As the pace car brings him around turn 3-4 complex. Look for him to make that hard left turn again. And is Rick going to hold him down? No. Rick pushes the button as quick as he can right off the bat on those old tires. And there they go. Green flag. Back underway. Rick Ravon leading them down. Nate Siefker right behind him. Followed shortly by Keith Mayato, Cameron Bostaine, and Chris Simard. Nate not letting go of Rick. Nate, he's got new refresher tires. He's not letting them go. Let's take a look at your 6th place, Kevin O'Brien. He has been in the pits. Hopefully he had that fast repair after that last little wreck. He's got the freshest tires on this run. Actually, take that back, Mike Grandy. He's only got 4 laps on those tires. Mike Gramry, Paul Cumry, and ladies and gentlemen, I should have called this one our driver to watch. Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. Come from 4 laps down, working his way in Ruby back onto the lead lap, holding down the 12th spot. Way to go, Sam. Taking a look back at the front, Rick Ravon still holding down the lead with a 0.3 second lead over Nate Siefker. Nate just can't quite get up on him. He can get that draft, but he just can't get that fresh air to hold it down around the corner to catch him on time. But you got to be wondering how far Rick's going to be able to stretch it out and how far these other guys can too. Working lap 117 of 151. Coming up on 30 to go. 30 to go. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. That would make him have to run, oh my God, 50 plus laps. I don't know if they can do it. Mike Grandy might be sitting there pretty, hit the podium spot. I told you pit strategy is going to be a big thing about it, and looks like it's going to come down to it. Guys are singling out. They're just going to ride this. They know we got 33 laps of racing left to go. Let's see how far we can take it. Let's not step on our own junk. Let's get around this track. Nate Siefker holding down 2nd, still falling back. He's 0.8 seconds behind your lead. Rick Ravon. Top 10 working around here. Rick Ravon holding down that top spot, followed by Nate Siefker in 2nd. Keith Mayato rolling up 3rd. Cameron Bostaine and Chris Lamar. These guys have been hanging around the top 5 all night long. Kevin O'Brien, Mike Grandy, Landon Austin, Paul Crumry, what a run from him, up in 9th. And Jeff Clark working his way after some adversity early on, working his way up to 10th spot. Robert Dudley holding down the 11th spot. Mark Walker in 12th, right behind him. Johnny Antonucci holding down 13th. And I got to be wondering if our man Sam might not have a little bit of damage. Let's see if I got the high-speed drone. Take a look back at Sam. Ah, that car looks pretty. Ruby is a fine-looking machine. Go get him, Sam. Be careful on them corners. Rolling it back out to our leader, Rick Ravon. He's starting to roll out. Nate Siefker's caught him. We're down to 0.3 of a second. And look at that. 2nd and 3rd. Keith Mayato all over the tail of Nate Siefker. We've seen net code on cars that close, folks. And be careful, guys. But like I said, we're within 30 to go. It's time to hit the scramble button. Laps are winding down fast here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Byron Rodney in the booth here. Esports Broadcasting Network bringing you Top Fuel Racing here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Man, throw a blanket over these guys. It's third, fourth, and fifth. The race is on. Nate doing his best to catch, well, actually, from the top 5. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth, right there in your camera shot, folks, working down that back stretch. Guy's just riding it right now. But everyone knows Rick's going to have to blink, man. We are looking at Mr. Rick Ravon right now, taking over from Scotty Brinson, the presidency of the I Need a Caution fan club right now. 44 laps. You got to wonder when he's going to blink and bring it in. Other guys, I think, honest to God, folks, they're going to have to make another stop. 25 more laps, that would make it 51 laps on a tank of fuel, but they might make it. Mr. Ravon's on lap 45. It's got to be getting close for him to call that pit. Other guys are backing off him. I think they know it too. Praying for a caution. That's the great equalizer in pit strategy. That would make it the money stop for everyone because 27 laps on second, third, fourth, fifth place on their tires. They're going to want to come in, get fresh rubber, and head right back out. As we have another caution, folks. Jeff Clark. Oh, my God. I called your name. What happened to you? More adversity. Oh! Oh! That didn't look like a fun ride at all, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at the vomit cam on that one from the roll bar. You'll hear it when he gets hit from behind. He will take a ride. There it goes. Up and over. Oh, my Lord, that was tough. Don't know what that was that happened there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring her up. That was the caution Mr. Ravon was looking for. I'm going to be honest with you. As the whole group comes pit side. Oh, we have 2 stay out. They think they have enough fuel and they think they have enough rubber to make it. 23 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what the look off of pit lane's going to be. Interesting, interesting, interesting. This is the money stop, folks. This is all about hit your marks. Nate, Rick, Chris, all coming off the pit road. Cameron Bostain's staying out. Chris Samard's staying out with him. Jeff Lubker, he stayed out as well. So Nate Seifker, your first car off of pit lane, is going to take the green flag in 4th position, followed by Rick Ravon in your 5th. Keith Mayato, 6th. Mike Randy looks like he's holding the 7th. 8th going to Kevin O'Brien, Robert Dudley, and Paul Kremrey running out your top 10. So these guys up front must know a little something we don't. They got 30 laps on their cars. They got 22 more to go. 30 plus 22. Ladies and gentlemen, let me do the math. And, yeah, that sounds like 50 plus. But with these caution laps, you know they're out there saving fuel. Pace car bringing them around one more time. Let's watch them from the blimp. Back with you shortly. You know what? Being the newest member of the ESPN broadcasting service here, cameras, a little tough. Cars, a little tough. Calling a race, a little tough. But you know what? Being an intelligent human being, you think I might remember not to drink so darn much before you go on air. The Porsche pace car bringing them down the backstretch, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, 20 laps to go. We're going to have 19 to go when we take the green flag. Chris Samard leading them to the green with Cameron Bostaine, and then they're on 32-lap old tires. You got to be wondering, boy, they're going to be stretching it to the end. But will those tires hold? Tire spin is real. Pace car takes that hard left turn, holding them down. There he goes. Cameron Bostaine pull the trigger, gets a good run off of the start of the field, brings the whole field, leads him down into turn 1-2 complex. Oh! Back around, that one looked like it hurt, ladies and gentlemen. That was Mr. Rick Ravon. Oh, gosh. Let's see what happened with that. That didn't look very friendly at all. Starts on an inside line, moves on up to the outside real quick. And just, oh! Looks like someone just come right up onto him. Oh, that hurt. Yeah, that was my call for your race, folks. That was my driver to watch, Mr. Rick Ravon. 18 laps to go. It's going to be awful tough. I think he has a fast repair left to fix that car. We're about to find out. You got to imagine Cameron Bostaine might want to be bringing it pit side along with Chris Samard. They're out on 34 lap tires. But then again, this caution's helping them. They're going to hold the fuel down. Let's follow Rick down into the pits, see if that fast repair does exist as he crab walks that car into his pit stall. Fast repair done, tires going on, fuel going in. Back out 7.7 seconds. Working that fast repair. Rick's going to hold on to the lead lap. Or is he? Looks like he's going to lose that lead lap. He'll be your first car one lap down. Another caution. Give him the lucky dog. Lord knows he's got the freshest tires on the track. Lord knows he's going to have the most fuel for the track. So if we catch one more caution, he's the first car one lap down. He is going to bring that to get back up there. He's got a fighting chance. He was my driver to watch, folks. Circulating under caution, 17 laps to go. 13th caution of the race. Your top 10 look like this. Cameron Bostaine staying out, leading them. These caution laps helping their fuel mileage. I know he's out there saving fuel like crazy. If he podium finishes and we talk to him in the interview, I'm going to ask him about it. You darn straight. Nate Siefker out there, second place. Keith Mayato, third. Chris Samard, fourth. Jeff Wubker holding down the fifth position. Kevin O'Brien in your sixth position. Mike Grandy, seventh. Paul Crumry, eighth. Ninth going to Mark Walker. And ladies and gentlemen, in the never say die department, coming from 4 laps down in this race, up to cracking the top 10. I just can't say enough about my cohort up here in the ESPN booth. The guy who started all this broadcasting thing, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett, riding around in a car that we call Ruby. Sam starting the race in 21st position, going at 1.4 laps down to bring her into 10th. That's got to be your biggest mover. But I'm going to get the camera off of him. I'm going to get the jinx away from him. We're going to move on up to our leader. We're time to talk about restarts here, folks. It's time to think, what are we going to do? 37 laps on those tires. Third place, 37 laps on those tires, surrounded by guys with only 7 laps on their tires. Restart's going to be interesting. Pace car leads them around turn 1 to 2, down the back straight. As the guys form up 2 by 2. It's been a tough race. It's a tough race with some championship implications. Scotty Brinson coming in with 467 championship points, followed closely at 464 by Jeff Hollingsworth. 51 points off, or 54 points off in the lead. Keith Mayato in third. He's gaining some spots. We'll see what his points come out. It's going to be tight towards the end of the season. As pace car comes around turns 3 and 4, takes out hard left into pit lane. As they drop the hammer, tight restart. Nate Siefker on the inside, Cameron Bostain on the outside on that preferred lane. But Nate on the fresher skins. Here we go, 14 to go, folks, to decide this thing. Ew! Into the wall. Looked like someone just lost it. Paul Crumry lost connection, disappeared. We stay green as the back of the field scrambles around. Nate Siefker making contact with Cameron Bostain. Chris Samar working up into the second spot. I think, Nate, you need to get down off of that dang inside lane, get up there, run behind them. But we talked about the aero on these cars. Top 5 singling out. 13 laps to go. It's going to be a slugfest to the end, folks. I do believe Cameron's got the fuel to make it. I do believe Chris has the fuel to make it with those cautions that we had. It is just... Let me get that off of that screen because I keep forgetting to hit dang buttons on here. I don't want to mess it up for you. We're coming to 10 to go. Under the green flag, New Hampshire Motor Speedway, Byron Rodney in the booth, ESPN. Bringing you top fuel IndyCar Racing Series. Cameron Bostain, for a guy with a lot of laps on them tires, he's holding off. Nate Siefker showing you that, you know what, it's easy to catch him. Catching him one thing, you've heard me say it before, catching him is one thing, getting around is something totally different. Cameron doing everything and showing you textbook how to make a car that's 5 feet wide look 15 feet wide to the car behind you. Chris Samar challenging Nate Siefker on the outside. Chris Samar, I don't think he can hold that inside line like Nate can. There is a big difference. 30 laps difference on those tires. So Nate's got the fresher tires. Nate's got the traction to hold that lower line. But you got to wonder how long that's going to happen because we've seen them snapping loose when they get a little bit of fuel out of them and a little bit of wear on those tires. Your top 3, Chris Samard, wow. He led that lap. He was ahead of Nate on that lap, but Nate taking it back on the bottom side. Turns into a drag race on the straightaways, folks. It's all about who can handle that corner and get around it. Nate Siefker making a challenge on Cameron Bostain, who's got, oh! And there it is, folks. I told you how it would happen. Nate just catching that drift. What a save. What a save. We've got our eyes on Nate coming around. He's looking for that inside line, and I told you, you get too low, there it goes. Car comes around, but look at the save that Nate makes, and look at the skill. Oh my God, Keith Mayato keeps it off of him. Oh, bringing it back live. Looking at your front. Cameron Bostain. Oh, the big benefactor of that little bobble by Nate Siefker. Keith Mayato rolling second. Rolling back to Chris Samard in third. Rick Ravon, boy, you saw him thread the needle and get up in there. He's trying to get that lap back to Hardway, but he's only got 6 laps to go. I look for him to, he's going to fall out of that top 10 finish. Bringing her back up to your leader, Cameron. He's just riding high and pretty. 6 laps to go. He's got to be praying, hey, okay, guys, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. He's legging it out, 0.6 seconds. We've seen it all night long. Car out in the front's got the arrow all over his wings, holding that car down, giving him the better traction around that corner. And that's where the cars are making time, is traction on the corner. Keith Mayato, though, he's not letting loose. 0.3 seconds behind. Big difference in tires. Keith's got better traction. But, like we said, folks, catching him's one thing, getting around him's something different. 5 laps to go. 4 laps to go. Keith Mayato working the leader. First and second place right there. Leader's going to catch lap traffic by the looks of it. How is he going to navigate that with those older tires? I do not know. He's got his finger on the scramble button for all it's worth. 48 laps on it with 3 to go now. He's hoping, here's to hoping that the fuel mileage is working for him. It would be a heartbreaker to see him lose it on fuel mileage. Lap cars getting down out of their way. Know that first and second are racing hard. Down the back straight. Round turn 3-4 complex. Back to the start finish line. We'll have 2 to go. Keith Mayato just stalking Cameron Bostaine right now. Cameron's got to be looking in that rearview mirror more than he does out front, but he's holding that line. He's running that same line that he was with those worn tires. Keeping it out there. Keith's caught him. Keith's on him. Keith's right behind him. But we've seen what happens if you try to make a pass on the low line here at New Hampshire. Ask Nate Seeker. It does not quite work. Nate dropping back to the 4th position, giving it up to Keith's teammate, Chris Simard, who's rolling out that top 3. Here we go, folks. Final lap. Can Cameron hold it out there, hang it out, and keep it in front? Or is Keith Mayato going to make that move in the 3rd 3-4 complex? Can he get that traction? I don't think he can. Coming around to the start-finish line, ladies and gentlemen, taking the checkers tonight, your winner, Cameron Bostaine. Oh, my Lord. Your top 5 finishing out unofficial right here. Cameron Bostaine taking home the top spot. What a finish, ladies and gentlemen. Stretching out a fuel tank about as far as I think you can stretch it. Keith Mayato bringing it home in 2nd place, followed by Chris Simard, Nate Seeker, and Mike Grandy. What a run for Mike in the 5th position. Ho! Your leader, Cameron Bostaine. Look for him to light them up. Give him some donuts. What a race. What a finish. That's about as good a finish as you've seen. We had a lot of cautions here. 13 cautions at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, but oh my Lord. Let's see if I can't grab some guys that finished up here on the podium. Our 3rd place driver.
So
bringing it home, 3rd place. 3rd place. Even though I stole him from his friends there. Let me get the microphone in front of his face. Mr. Chris Simard. 51 laps. How in the heck did you stretch that tank?
It was all the yellow flags that helped me out there at the end. It was unfortunate for what happened for the yellow flags, but it helped me out big time. So I'm just glad I didn't run over Nate there. He kind of spun a little bit, and we both kind of saved it, and I passed him. But
yeah, I'm gonna
it was
have
a good
to
finish.
I'm gonna have to talk to him because I got to tell you that was a save of the race, man. When I saw him start to go around, I was thinking caution coming, but no, what a save and what a dodge for you to get it up into that 3rd spot. 51 laps on those tires. Everything I saw you riding that high line towards the end all race long. I was watching guys get down below that 2nd lane and just snap loose.
Yeah, this is almost a bump when you get down to the 1st lane there if you're running in the 2nd. And if you hit that bump and you're in 4th gear, it spins out pretty fast. So you have to be really careful on the bottom trying to pass someone. But I just Scott put up a practice room last night, so I thank him for that because towards the end of a run, the car got faster. With the light fuel load, even though I had a lot of laps on my tires, it made it a lot faster. So I'm glad I practiced last night. So.
Well, great! Congratulations on that 3rd place finish, and bringing up into the booth here with me happens to be your teammate, Mr. Keith Mayato. Not as many laps on those tires as you guys had at 51. He finished off with a 21 lap stint, but oh my God, man, did Cameron make that car feel like 15 feet wide right there in front of you at the end, Chris? That was a hell of a finish.
Yeah, I don't know if I could have passed him or not, but it if you were on the high side, it was good. But if you tried to pass someone on the low side and they had it sped up on the outside, it was really tough. You had to really dive on the corner, and you just couldn't do it enough to pass him. So
yeah, Keith Mayato, Mr. 2nd place finisher. Have we got you up here in the booth?
That before?
Man, what a run for 2nd place, man. You had a lot less laps on those tires than the guys around you in 1st and 3rd. I saw you working up to Cameron right there with 5 to go. Man, that was an exciting finish to a race. Cameron, you were able to catch him, but we have that old adage, man. You can catch him, but getting around him was a whole nother thing. That car looked like it was 15 feet wide when you got up to the back of it.
It sure felt like it. I tried, and running the bottom, I can catch him, but even if I had a run on him, it would have been impossible to pull it off coming off the corner. So I tried to go on the high side because I was hoping maybe one time he would try to block me on the inside, but he never bit, and I just kept trying to work the inside, and it just wasn't good enough that night.
Okay, yeah, and in a race that had some serious championship implications, watching the battle championship points between Scotty Brinson and Jeff Hollingsworth, both of them exiting the race early. Jeff before Scotty, but this has got to bring you up close to that point fight. You were only 54 points behind the leader coming in. This has got to bring you a lot closer. This is going to make the end of the season get interesting.
Yeah, I'm hoping it will equalize after the poor performance I had last week where I couldn't even finish the race. So hopefully I'll get back to that 30-point difference and hopefully work my way up there.
A question I wanted to ask you though. I noticed that when the leader got out, even if the leader was on 30 lap older tires than everyone else, he was able to leg out the lead. How much was the aero push on this thing a reality for you guys in dirty air? Because it looks like you could catch them, but you just couldn't get around them unless you went low. And if anyone went low, man, snap loose, bye-bye.
Yeah, going low is only an issue if you hit the bottom lane there. If you start hitting the actual hash mark, that's where you'd break loose, because I felt it for a few times. But yeah, aero was significant, and that's why Cameron was staying up there, because I remember being 3 seconds behind the car, and the car felt awesome again. But as soon as you got within 2 seconds, you can feel just how tight it would get mid-corner.
Yeah, it was a great run there. Great second place finish, man. That was an exciting finish to unfortunately there are a few cautions in this race, a bunch of cautions, but oh my God, man, those last 5 laps make an announcer's, the way you guys raced it out made it an announcer's job a dream.
Yeah, the cautions helped me out because I screwed up my own pit road entry on, I think, the first caution or second caution. But yeah, I was trying my best to get up there, and it was fun racing with Cameron because I knew there wasn't going to be a lot of side-by-side action, but I was just hoping for that one mistake, and he didn't make a mistake, so good on him, and congrats to him.
Yeah, well, hey, congratulations on second place, and if I'm not mistaken, the newest guy in the ESPN crew here, and I push buttons right, I do believe I have our race winner in the booth with me, Mr. Cameron Mustaine. Cameron, you there?
Hey, I'm here.
Cameron, congratulations, man, on taking that race. What a finish, I got to tell you. Tell me, how thin was that gas tank at the end of that race?
Oh, it was really thin. I think I had almost miscalculated something at the end for that final run, and I was just really running it close on fuel. And for that last 3 or 4 laps, I was looking at it and knew I had to save a little bit of something.
Yeah, it was a great little race right there at the end. Last 5 laps, I seen Keith stalking you, just watching you there. I was watching you run those lines, hitting those marks, because I knew you had 50 plus, almost 50 laps on those tires. When Keith caught up to the very tail end of you, man, what was going through your mind? Because all I know is I saw you take a 5-foot car and make it look 15 feet wide to him.
Well, yeah, I knew that one of the things that I had to do was keep that high line. The high line, I could work it and manipulate the aero just a bit to prevent them from passing me on the low side. It definitely seemed to get the cars pushed whenever I was on the inside, so I knew I didn't want to be there.
Yeah, I saw what happened if you tried to get down on that low line a little too much. When that race towards that last run happened there, you had a guy on your inside, Mr. Nate Seeker, just kept trying to work that inside. And I was calling it and screaming, how long can he hold it before it snaps loose? Because he was diving a little low. But I got to tell you, Cameron, congratulations on the win. You know what? It's going to be a championship shakeup with the way things worked out. Scotty Brinson and Jeff Hollingsworth, Keith Mayato coming up in second. But someone that I got to bring in here and I got to talk to, he'd have been up here on the podium, probably would have bumped out Keith and Chris down one more spot. But he came home in 4th place due to the save of the race. Mr. Nate Seifker, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am.
God, you know what? You and Cameron were going hammer and tong there. And when it got down to about 5 to go, and I saw you break loose on the inside of Cameron. Cameron made it tough for you to try to get around. I was talking to Cameron about it. He was holding that high line, working that arrow. How hard was it to try and hold that bottom?
It was definitely hard, but I mean, I was trying to get past Cameron, but I was also dealing with Keith behind me. I couldn't let Keith get past me, or else I knew, my chance for the win was gone. So I was really working, trying to get clean air and also trying to work the air around Keith. But that save, I mean, it was. I thought I was done. I thought my race was over, and just cranked down the downshifts and got down to first and let her go again. So I'm kind of surprised I saved it for sure, but I'll take the save. I definitely, kept a decent race result with that save getting fourth, but it just sucks that I didn't get at least second. If I was smart, I would have just been safe and pit road and got second place. But I'll take fourth place, I guess, tonight.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker for you. And Cameron, I can't tell you enough of how much of a privilege it was to call that win for you, man. I didn't know if you were going to make it on fuel, but those caution laps had to have helped. 51 laps you held it out there on those tires. 51 laps you held it on the field. Congratulations, my friend. Take that victory and savor it.
Oh, thank you very much, Byron.
All righty. Well, normally right about now, I grab a guy by the name of Mr. Scotty Brinson, who has the league, in hand, who handles our race control, and doesn't look like I might be able to get a chance to talk to Scotty tonight because his night ended early, and I know he couldn't have been happy. Jeff Hollingsworth, his night ended early, and he couldn't have been happy. I don't exactly remember exactly how Scotty's ended, but I can tell you Jeff Hollingsworth was a victim of netcode. There was 2-3 feet in between the car behind him, and all of a sudden Jeff bump around, night over. It was just a heartbreaking thing. I'm looking forward to seeing what the point shakeup's going to be, and what we do from there. And waking his way back. Well, maybe not. There he is. Hey, and I want to welcome him back, and I know technical difficulties caught up with him mid-race, but ladies and gentlemen, hey, the guy in the booth that helped me out through the first whole half of the race, Tony, welcome back from the hospital. It's good to see you back here. Glad to have you back. What did you think of the race? Did you get to see the end of it?
No, not really. We lost power.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Well, my friend, you need to go to the rebroadcast after we're done here, because the last 10 laps of this race turned into a shootout. And the save of the race to Mr. Nate Siefker, a shootout at the race, Comer and Bostaine bringing it home ahead of Keith Mayato, making that car as wide as it could possibly be. 51 laps on tires and fuel. And that was a hell of a race. Championship implications with Scotty Brinson having to take it to the hauler. Jeff Hollingsworth taking it to the hauler about 13 laps before him. And Keith Mayato finishing in second place. So it'll be interesting to see where the points shake out. Scotty, I know, is not a happy camper. I can't raise him on the radio now. And Jeff Hollingsworth, he is, I feel sorry for the guy, man. The worst victim of netcode there was that put him on the hauler. There had to have been a good 3 feet between him and the car behind him, and bump, go around, and you can clearly see netcode on that. And that's the thing we deal with iRacing. I hope they get it fixed soon enough, but you know what? It was a good race, Tony. Hope you catch a look at it, and I'm just running them out. Anything you want to say, any shout-outs you want to give, welcome back, my friend.
Well, I just, I want to thank all the racers that reached out to me while I was in the hospital, and thank you guys for kind of keeping my spirits up, and, let me know that I actually do have some friends out there and people who actually, give a shit. That's not really something I'm used to.
Well, welcome to, hey, we love you. We want you back. We want you to do for you. We want to see you back in this booth, so maybe I can actually drive in one of these things once in a while. But hey, I'm happy to pick up the load. I'm happy to pick up the load for you, man. I get better every time I do it. It's an honor to broadcast Top Fuel Racing League, and just so happy to be here and do that. So, without further ado, I'm not going to get to talk to Mr. Brinson tonight. He just, I can understand his feelings. Want to give a shout out to my cohort at ESPN, Mr. Sam Cooper Bennett. He's got to get the Ironman Persistence Award of the race. Starting 17th, coming from 4 laps down after an incident to crack the top 10 and catch a top 10 finish. Your top 10 finishing tonight looked like this. Cameron Bostaine coming home with the win. Keith Mayato and Chris Samard standing next to him on that podium. Nate Siefker with the save of the race. He gave up second, possibly first, but he come home with a 4th place finish, well earned. Mike Grandy coming home 5th, Jeff Wubker in 6th, Kevin O'Brien finishing 7th, Mark Walker 8th, Landon Austin 9th, and Sam Cooper Bennett bringing home the bacon in a top 10 spot. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a lot of fun. I just can't say how much fun it is. I have a lot of fun bringing it to you. You know what? New Hampshire Motor Speedway. I can't say enough. It wasn't the drivers, folks. It wasn't the cars. The track got them. And it was whoever could tame the track. You know what? From the booth here broadcasting at ESPN, my name is Byron Rodney. You know what? I just cut the music and I just let you know it's a lot of fun. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.